Welcome to Sajine Clarity Podcast, a space to explore clarity, journey from survival to authenticity. I'm Sajine, and here we dive into the raw truths of breaking free from the expectations we've grown up with, rediscovering our voices, and thriving after life's challenges. But this isn't just about my story. It's about life, from relationships and self-discovery to the messy, beautiful questions we all face. No topic is off limits here. So if you're ready to embrace courage, healing, and life on your own terms, you're in the right place. Let's connect. Let's grow. Welcome to the journey. Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. I'm not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional. And the content shared here is based on personal experiences and insights. If you're facing significant challenges, please seek the support of a qualified professional. Remember, your journey is unique and you deserve the care and guidance that is right for you. All right. I am happy to have you here with me once more. I'm going to say welcome. Sit down or wherever you're at, get ready to listen to something exciting for you. Today's podcast is When Healing Feels Like Coming Home, the day your inner child comes back to life. What happens when you finally leave survival mode and the part of you that thought it was lost forever quietly returns? I think that's what's happening to me. And if it can happen to me, it can happen for you. In this episode, we talk about the moment healing becomes real. The moment your inner child steps forward and says, I never left you. It just wasn't safe before. We explore how chronic survival mode steals joy, dreams, creativity, relationships, and even memory, and what it feels like when those parts begin to come back online. We also honor the grief that can surface when healing reconnects us to people we once loved, only to realize some are no longer here. This episode is about living fully now, choosing joy without guilt, and finally investing in the life that was always waiting for you. This is your permission to leave toxicity behind and choose a happier, more honest way of living. There's a moment in healing that no one really prepares you for. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's the moment when something inside you wakes up and says, oh, I remember who I am. Not the version of you that learned how to survive, not the version of you that learned how to stay small, quiet, agreeable, or hyper-vigilant, but the you that existed before the world taught you it wasn't safe. And maybe you thought that part of you was gone forever. But here's the truth. Your inner child never left. They were just waiting for safety. You know, today I was, working out at the gym, feeling good, when a whole host of memories came into my mind. And mind you, vivid ones. And it reminded me of so many things. And it always goes back to elementary age, maybe 4th grade, I'm thinking. And when my life was full of hope and dreams, wonders, I loved reading books. I wanted to become an astronaut. I just wanted to conquer the world. And something shifted. That shift came when, in the middle of 4th grade, we moved. We moved out of the city to the suburbs. And let me tell you, Children in the city are more open-minded and they're more focused. And the children in the suburbs were mean to me. Why? Because my way of thinking was different from theirs. And I'm not saying that every place is the same. I'm talking about my experience. And maybe this falls into your experience too. And it forever shaped my life going on until now. Decades later, I came to the realization that when you're in survival mode, you learn to push things back because you're afraid. So that's what we're going to talk about, survival mode. What does it really cost us? Survival mode is clever. It keeps us alive, but it also asks for payment. And the payment is often dreams, play, curiosity, rest, connection, creativity, joy. When you're in survival, you don't dream, you manage. You don't explore, you endure. You don't play, you plan. And you don't notice the cost until safety returns. That's when memories start to unlock. That's when interests come back. That's when your body softens enough to say, hey, remember what you loved? I remembered how much I wanted to be an astronaut. In my heart, I believe society was so advanced that one day I would get to work like people on Star Trek, right? I would get to go see new worlds, new species, and it would all be the good for humanity. Wonderful dreams. A lot of play and curiosity. I loved art. I loved playing with friends. And just resting was nice. The connections with people you got to know, creativity. Oh my gosh. You know, talking about art, I love drawing, I love coloring, I love painting. I loved, chalk painting, oil paints. And later on, as I grew up, I loved drawing buildings, floor plans. I know, I was good. But then reality hit me in the face. Back to survival mode. Why? Because I had to learn that not everybody wants you to succeed, which is a shame. But I think that's when we need to start learning new things. And as time goes by, I like to give you more information on how to start surviving after the toxicity has left, or if it's still minimal there and you want to rise. Why? Because you're important. When you're in survival, you don't dream, right? You stop those dreams. Why? Because you just can't. You have to keep working. You have to keep surviving. And you don't notice the cost until safety returns, right? That's why my memories came back. My interest came back. But I'm glad it does. And I'm glad healing comes. But it doesn't come fast enough sometimes. But it does come. The inner child returns, right? Here's what I want you to hear clearly. If you're suddenly remembering your goals, your passions, your curiosity, you're not regressing, you're integrating. This is the inner child saying, I stayed hidden so you could survive. Now that you're safe, I like to live. And often that child doesn't come back demanding attention. They come back whispering through books you loved, music that makes you emotional, ideas that suddenly feel possible again. Moments of laughter that surprises you. That's not weakness. That is healing. I will tell you, I have gotten so many books. I know some people don't like books, but that's okay. For me, I didn't have enough money growing up to have books. I'll be honest with you. I would sofa surf under the cushions to find money or babysitting money so I can buy my books. Every time the book fair came, I was ecstatic. I was like, I'm going to buy one book and one beautiful pencil. I like those plastic ones with individual, like super dagger, pointy leads that have that little plastic thing, and you would pull it up and then push it back in the back, and then a new one would come out. Oh yeah, remember those? I loved them so much. And now I'm finding books again. I actually found that Aesop Fables really good. I say, go ahead, give it a chance again. You will see everything that we couldn't put words to when we were little, but now that you're older, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is all the stuff I missed. But I don't think we could have done it because when you're in survival mode, you're not paying attention to that. I also found the book, The Glove. Oh my goodness. Remember when all the little animals wanted to squish in one glove and then not a glove, mitten, and it explodes? I found that one. I'm telling you, there's so many great books out there. And sometimes they're just secondhand books. Give them a try because I believe it brings you back to your childhood. And often we also see the music. Oh my goodness. I am in love with every type of music. I love distinctive rap. I like lo-fi. I like techno. I like country, classical, folkloric. I mean, you name it. There's so many of it, even jazz. Yeah, I know. But guess what? It brings joy. Ideas that suddenly feel possible again. Oh my goodness, I could travel. I can buy things that I thought I couldn't. I can play a musical instrument. I can learn how to fly a plane. So many things. Okay? And then there's the moments of laughter. Oh my goodness, I found so many funny movies. I even forgot how much fun it was to laugh, and even made my stomach hurt because of so much I've been laughing. So I tell you, go out there. It is the greatest feeling to feel that you can actually do this. The grief that comes with healing. Here's the part people don't talk about. When you heal, you remember people. People who mattered, people who made you feel seen, people who were part of your story before survival took over. And sometimes you go looking for them, only to find they're no longer living. That grief is real. And it doesn't mean healing was a mistake. It means you're awake again. So if you're feeling sorrow alongside joy, you're not broken, you're human. And you're finally present enough to feel both. I think the hardest thing for me is I didn't get to share my life with these individuals as I grew older. I never got to show them my children after they saw me as a little baby. I feel sad because they were really good people, the ones that you don't quite see anymore. I don't get to hear their stories anymore. The only stories I find out is when I read their obituary and I learned their awesome, beautiful life more than I ever knew before, except that I only knew that they were loving and kind and accepting. I wish I could have been there with them to say goodbye and tell them that they mattered. But I know they matter because they had other family members there. But I wanted to be there. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to honor them by living. Living and fighting just as much as they did. and all the adversities that they went through and still enjoyed life. I think it's time that we start sharing it with people. Why joy is not selfish? Let me say this clearly. Choosing joy is not abandoning responsibility. Leaving toxic people is not cruelty. Investing in yourself is not selfish. Some people choose dysfunction because it feels familiar. You don't have to follow them there. Your responsibility is not to convince others to heal. Your responsibility is to live well. Because the best way to honor what was lost is to live fully now. I saw something on Instagram where a gentleman was twisting a empty plastic water bottle into a light socket. Amazingly, it fit perfectly. But I loved what it said. It said just because it fits there doesn't mean it belongs there, right? Just because sometimes we feel like we fit in a place doesn't mean we belong there, especially when it's toxic. So my invitation to you this year isn't about hustling harder. It's about living truer. It's about choosing environments that feel safe, relationships that feel mutual. Remember, mutual respect. Dreams that feel alive again. Your inner child isn't asking for perfection. They're asking for presence. I have my 5 journal prompts here. I love to give you homework. Let's get writing them down. 1, what part of me are re-emerging now that I'm no longer in survival mode? 2, what did I love before life required me to become strong? 3, who did I have to leave behind to stay safe? And who do I choose now? 4, what does joy feel like in my body today? Not someday. 5, if my inner child trusted me fully, what would they ask me to protect? Let's move into our little guided meditation. Go ahead, sit down wherever you're at, relax, and enjoy. Take a breath. Not to fix anything, just to arrive. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw unclench. Let your body know it doesn't need to be on guard anymore. Now imagine yourself standing in a safe place. A place that feels warm, familiar, kind. And in front of you is your younger self. They're not broken. They're not scared. They're just waiting. Let them speak first. You don't interrupt. You don't correct. And when they're done, gently say, I see you. I believe you. And I'm here now. Feel the weight lift. Not all at once, but enough. You're not leaving survival behind recklessly. You're leaving it with gratitude. And when you're ready, take one more breath and step forward together. child has been knocking lately, open the door. They didn't come to disrupt your life. They came to return it to you. I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came to hear the beauty of all of this. Let's welcome that inner child. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode on the Sajin Clarity Podcast. I hope it gave you something to think about, feel, or explore on your own journey. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share it with someone who might need it, or reach out to connect. And if you're looking for deeper insights, look at my Instagram, my YouTube. Go ahead and look under there, and you will see under Sajin_Clarity, you will see everything that I bring for you guys. Until next time, keep seeking clarity.